hospital. I had open heart surgery, things like this right here. When I got out, this is the first song that I heard. And it blessed me so much. I'm going to try to sing. Pray for me that God will use me somehow to maybe strengthen you along the way. Maybe sometimes, right a while, we're all going to depart and leave and go back to our houses and things and such things. And pray for me that God will give me a word, or maybe say something that'll help you go another mile. Go along. It's a world is getting a wicked place. And I'm glad I've got somebody that can overcome everything. Jesus said, I've overcome the world. By him we can too. I'm going to sing this little song, if I can. Pray for him, nervous as he can be. Oh, sacred Lamb, you knew my name. You knew my heart, and you knew my frame. You knew what I could never know, and you went where I could never go. Oh, sacred Lamb, the sacred Lamb, you died alone. Not like the devil take it. You died alone, and you took my sin. You made me clean and white as snow. To Calvary you had to go. You came a simple, humble man. You saved my soul. Oh, sacred Lamb, someday you'll come and take us home. You'll come for those you call your own. And with my eyes I'll finally see that sacred Lamb that lives in me. Lester got me warmed up. I don't know if I wait or anything or stand here before this, but I appreciate you coming out and listening to a hillbilly. I don't know much, but God called me out of the miry pits of this world and set me up, give me peace and joy above everything. Like I said a while ago, I hope what the Lord has put on my, I don't know if I've been asleep or not, I don't know. Terrified and scared, but I got to thinking about how this whole world is treating the church and the way it's going. Listen, we're a short time here. If you'll pray for an unbeliever. There we go. Can you hear me?
Hear you now.
Not much in life, but in the eyes of God, I'm His son. Each and every one here. Now, I know I get scared, and I get scared by a car. When the Spirit moves, it makes you bolder than a lion. There's a time coming when we'll all give an answer. I thought this morning when I got up and come across my mind about how people, God's church, everything that's going on today, it's seems like the laws that's made it's against the church. Amen. And I'm a part of it. They all the time holler and say, let's break down the walls. Let's break down the walls. You want to know what the walls you want to break down? It's sitting here today. It's the church. But I want to read something, maybe give you a little strength to go just a little farther and to lift up. I read this last night about, I don't know what time it was, but I read this last night. How God, now this is Jesus, He was speaking. Then said He unto him, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilence. and fearful sights and great sights shall be from heaven. But listen, but before all these, they shall lay their hands upon you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogue and into prison, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Because we believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it makes the devil mad. And I sort of like that if you want to put it in the word. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. This is what we need. The church needs to get a little closer to the Lord. You may say, well, you don't know I'm a hillbilly in the bird, but I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Lord. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. It said, settle it, therefore, in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye say, or you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all our adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed by both parents and brothers and kinfolks and friends, and some shall they cast to be put to death, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Now listen, but there shall not a hair of your head be harmed. How good that it is that God would love such something like me, that He would call me this. I know it's a scary place to stand, but what's in my life, it didn't come from the world. It didn't come from what man had given, but it came from a higher place above everything. Let me read just a little bit more. Oh, I don't know about the rest of them. Feel pretty good. He said, but there shall not a hair of your head shall perish. In your patience possess ye your souls. When ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that desolation therefore is nigh. That was what was on my mind, but what's on my heart is in the 14th chapter of John. you listen to me, just pray for me just a minute. It helped me last night, and it'll help you too. But to the church, I want to tell you, let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. For in my Father's house, He said, there are many mansions. If it were not so, He'd have told us a long life's wait. He said, now go away to prepare a place. Bible talked about, I had a little friend I used to work with, and he said, why in the world would you want to go and believe in somebody that's been dead over 2,000 years? I said, God is not dead. My Lord is still alive. He said, how would you know about such things? Because He lives right here in my heart. I didn't have to run next Daddy when I got saved. When God called Him, when I didn't have to run next my parents. Was I saved or not? I already know it. When I come to it, guess what I done? I wanted to do the right thing. I said, take me and bury the old dead man. If you don't, you may say, well, I'm a water dog, whatever it is. Let me tell you something other. If you don't bury that a while, it'll stink. And be honest with you. And if I go away, I'll prepare a place for you. I will come again. Now listen, after a while, the clouds are going to roll back. Jesus is coming in the cloud. I spoke a little bit the other night. Said a little man said, I made a hovercraft out of the wind. God had that made a long time ago. When He comes in the clouds of glory and the clouds roll back and He begins to call, we're going to go up a little higher. He told John, said, you come and bid Him come a little higher. This is what's on my mind. I said this a few times ago in Revelation. Talk about when John was on the island of Patmos and that angel come down and bid him come a little higher. John said, I fell as a dead man before I was scared and frightened to such thing. And God called, and the angel said He bid him come a little bit higher. And He showed him a multitude. I believe he saw some of the faces that's here today. I really believe that with all my heart. He began to look, and he said, and the angel looked down at John, and he said, sir, actually he said, John, who are these people right here? And John looked back at the angel. I believe he was scared to death. Be honest with you, he said, look back at the angel. He said, sir, thou knowest who these are. And I'm going to tell you there's something other. And the angel looked at John and said, these are they that have come up through great tribulation, who have washed and made their robes white in the blood of the Lamb, and they'll walk with me in white, for they are worthy. Now listen, I'm not much on life or anything like that, but Jesus said, I go away to prepare a place for you. And if I go away, I'll come again to receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, the way you know, and where right here it said, and whither I go, you know, and the way that you know. What is the way? Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. I'm nothing more in this life right here, but I'll tell you what I really am. I'm a blood-bought child saved by grace through faith. I love what God has done for me that a while. I don't know about the rest of you. I get a little anxious to go sometime because down here, troubles and trials along everything. But listen, like he said in the 26th chapter of Luke, he told me, don't let your hearts be troubled. Hang on to that which you got and walk straight and narrow before the Lord. And I'll tell you what, if we'll humble ourselves down and begin to pray unto God, I believe we can see things move along the way. This little lady, they got over her in prison because she wouldn't go with the filth that's come through this world. Here's another that won't fool with it either. It don't make no difference. I told last night, if whatever comes through, if I have to preach it through the bars, I'm going to do it. But let me tell you, because I'm a short time here, but God's going to call. I get to leave here in a little bit right here. I don't know how anybody else feels about things, but listen, Jesus is coming back. And he's coming back at our church. What is church? It ain't the building. Right here is your church, boy. Sitting right here. Are you ready to go? I am. Made preparations a long time ago. John comes preaching. Stayed in the wilderness until the time had come, didn't he? Jesus come through. What was the first words that John said when he stepped out of the wilderness and began to preach? Looked straight and he said, prepare ye the way of the Lord. We got a job to do, each and every one is here. I cannot live your life, and you can't live mine. And when death comes a knocking at our heart's door, I can't stand in the front of you and take your blame. But it's going to be you, what you've done. Little woman called me here a while back and said, I can't remember everything in this Bible. I said, well, I can't either. She said, I can't remember all the commandments that God gave me. I said, that's the reason he gave us one day at a time, that we can live and walk under him. Listen, we got a spirit in here, a comforter, that leads and guides us and keeps us out of the places. Me and my wife got married. I didn't know what an ABC store was. Went to the doctor and parked in the ABC parking lot. Just been in church. Didn't know what it was. I said, now look, I was wondering what ABC meant. I said, why would they put an alphabet on the side of the building? Wow. Come back out and said, what in the world are you doing parked here? I said, I don't know what it is. She said, it's a place where you can buy the wine, the spirits and things. I said, well, I've had it when I get back to church. Thank you, God. I went back to church, my pastor looked at me and said, I see you over at the ABC store. He said, you don't know what that means, do you? I said, no, I know. Grin and stuff like that. But listen, he said to be faithful over a few things. I'll make you ruler over many. Some have done a lot of things, and the Bible teaches me about how good that God is. I might be an ignorant little man on this thing, but this, I know what the Spirit of God feels in my heart. How good, I don't care who you are, how far down you went, how bad that you think you are. My God is better and good.
Amen.
And will save you. You're the very one that he came to this earth, walked that bloody road. When he got to the cross and he laid it down, he didn't force him on it, he laid it down. Why did he do such things as that right there? He's just sitting right here today. When they nailed the nails into his hands, I heard a song sung one time said the only thing made by man in heaven is the scars in my Lord's hand. I don't know how it's going to be over there, but we'll have a body fashioned like Jesus. But if you're in here and lost and don't know the Lord, you're in the very place that you need to be. I'm going to tell you, it's time that you make things right in your life. I can't do it. All I can tell you, there's one way out of here, from here to glory. Just through and by the door. The doors, Jesus said, I am the door into the sheepfold, and we've got to go through and by him. I don't know how things work. You have to pray for me just a little bit. I love what I feel in my life. I love to sing for the Lord. Ain't no doubt in my mind that God will call and I'll leave this place here in a little while. But when they bury me in the ground, don't look for me there. If I'm, like Ronnie says, if I'm dead, I'll be one of the first to leave here. You need to get your heart right with the Lord. I don't like to hear that, but you need to get it fixed. Jesus loves you, He came and bled and died. And guess what he was? The Son of God. Man come and told me, I don't want to get in the way or anything, but he come and told me here a little while when I worked with him. He said, I'd rather have the Jews' religion, which is good, it's fine, the law, to be under the law. But Jesus told me like this right here. For what the law could not do, that through the flesh he was weak. But listen to this. But God sent his only begotten Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us. For we no more walk by the flesh or by the thing or the sacrifices of anything, but we walk by the Spirit of God, which pulled us out of the miry pits of this world and has set us up and give us a map to go by, and by that Spirit give us what we need to do along life's way. I'd rather have old-time, blood-bought salvation in my life than I would or anything in this world. I know I'm not much of a talker or anything like that out there, but you're going to have the Lord in your life, and you're going to have to hear a few things that's going to go along life's way. There's some order in the church. You've got to have things in your life. You got to have Jesus. Let me read just a little bit more. I've sat up all night. Look for me. Scared to death. I'm telling you. If you had known me, you should have known my Father. You know, by grace, I preached, touched on it a little bit last night. In the 5th chapter of Romans, it says, therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through and by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And by this faith we have access unto this grace. I'll be honest with you. Last night I spoke a little bit about it. It talks about what is grace. If you look in the Webster's Dictionary, it says somebody's name, or it said God showed great favor to mankind. John 3:16 is the real answer to what grace really is. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever would believe in him should not perish. I'm not making plans to die, Lord. I'm making plans to live. If you're a blood-bought Christian, I'm making plans to head out of here in a little while. The Bible teaches me I'm going to get robed up in white and go down the streets and go. I don't know if we have shoes on or not, but there's a place over there. The Bible talks about a city being built full square. It was made for everything, but he said, measure not the court that was without, where it's given unto the Gentiles. Guess what I am? I'm a little Gentile, saved by grace and faith, coming to the Lord, and they give me peace and joy. And in a while I'm going to be robed up in white, heading down, singing a new song, going to lay my crown down at the master's feet. He said, I've been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Got to have the Lord. There's time coming. Actually, it's already here if you want to know it. Jesus has come through and laid down a plan of salvation that we could live. I'll be honest with you. In the olden days, he made a covenant with Abraham, didn't he? All these things, he wrote it down. I got news for you. He made a covenant with us too. He said, this is the covenant. Talking about us sitting right here. This is the covenant that I will make with you after those days. He said, I will put my law in your heart, and in their minds would I write them, and their sins and iniquities would I remember no more. I'm not much of a preacher, but I'm doing my very best to tell you, if you're here and lost and don't know the Lord, you need Him more than you need a place to sleep. You need Him more than you need something to eat. You need somebody, you need this friend that will stick closer than a brother down through life. I've been in the church 38 years, and I've never known Him to fail me at any time. I've failed Him many times, but He's never failed me. We must hold on to that which is good for this saving grace. Last night I talked about maybe I can finish up what I talked about when Nicodemus came to Jesus. When he come to him by night, he said, we know that thou art a man of God, for no man can do these things except God be with him. And this is the best part of it all. And Nicodemus told him, and Jesus looked at Nicodemus and said, you must be born again. I hope for goodness the Lord just stir me up just a little bit and maybe get this out. But he said, you must be born again. And Nicodemus looked at Jesus and he said, how can a man enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Jesus said, marvel not when I tell you that you must be born again. If you be born again of the water and of the Spirit. We got to have something in life that draws you out. I can preach here all day long, but without the Spirit of drawing you, I can do nothing. It's going to take the Lord to bring you out of here. And like He done me, Dad and them preached unto me, and it drawed me out of the miry pits of this world. I'm talking about sin and shame and all the dead things that they are. You talk about one that dwelled among the tombs. Right here it is. I was just as bad. I was a son of a preacher man, but I was about the worst that they all was around. But you talk about a dead man dwelling among the tombs. But God, He loved me so much that He drawed me out through the preaching of the gospel. And I love what's going on out of why God is going to call. We get to give an answer, but this is what I'm talking about. When Jesus, when Nicodemus told him, said, you must be born again of the water and of the Spirit. Said, marvel not when I tell you this thing. I get scared. A long life's journey. But after a while, there's going to be a change in me. Jesus said, all them that are born of me are like the wind. He said, you can't see it, but you can see where it's been. Believe, I'm born to that Holy Spirit. I love what God has done. This little man right here preached to me, tore me all to pieces and preached the gospel. And I didn't know what to do after they told me that you must have Jesus in your life. You've got to have Him. I can't put the emphasis on that enough, that you got to have Him in here. These singers through the week have sung so wonderful, and how good that it is. After a while, Mike told last night, said the preacher would have to quit preaching. We'll have to all lay it down and roll up in white and get in line and begin to sing. That's what we're going to do. We need Jesus more than we need anything. I can't get up and say that enough. Through the hospital, I remember when the hospital, my greatest fear when I went into the hospital for this open heart surgery was I used to be pretty bad. Say things that I shouldn't. My greatest fear is when they brought me off and on the anesthesia, I would be waking up saying some bad things. And when I did get my senses to me, I asked my wife, I said, what did I say? She said, the first word you said was, praise God. You gotta have it. Eddie sung a little song called Here He Comes. He said the sick come out of their rooms and would lift holy hands. Debbie Nam was there. Listen, when God shows up, things happen, don't it? How good that it was. And when I did come to my sins, I called for my pastor. I said, get him in here. We got to pray. Give a little thanks along our way. It's good. Though I be not much, but God is greater than us all. You need to hang on to Him. If you're eternal, that's the lost is the one I'd like to get to. They're the one that you need in your life. This Jesus, I'd give anything if I had the words to say that could just turn you, that you would come and find out how good it is to lay down and feel at night time whether you live or whether you make it not. If you die in Christ, to die in Christ is gain. Amen. But I'd rather work for Him and do the best that I possibly can. We sang the little song tonight and we hold Him above everything. I'm going to keep the standard of God, which is Jesus, in my life. Nothing but a crybaby along the way, Mike. Somebody could have done a lot better, but listen, you got stuck with me this time. But I'm glad of it. But it gives me an opportunity. The little brother said I was scared to death. Ain't no doubt about it. But I'm not ashamed of what God has done for you. I'm not ashamed of what God is going to do. Listen, boys, the best is yet to come. After a while, I know we have troubles and trials. Like it said in that little book right there, they'll put you in prison. They'll do everything. It's already happened. One is already in there. But let me tell you something other. He said, let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God. He said, let your patience possess your soul. I'll take Jesus for everything. There's a time coming. It's already here when your faith is going to be tried. I preached a little bit on that over at home right there. Through the singing and stuff here, I didn't get prepared like I wanted to. But over home, the Bible teaches us faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. By it the elders obtained a good report with God. I'm glad that he went a little further, said Enoch or Enoch, or which one you want to say it. He said before he was translated, or God took him and was not. But before he left here, he had this testimony, that he pleased God. It is impossible To please God without, it's impossible. You can't please Him without faith. I got faith that God's going to come out of a while. I get to line up and sing that new song. After a while, when I'm laid in the grave, I can say, "Oh grave, where's your victory? Oh death, where's your sting?" Because I'll be sitting at the right hand with Jesus on the other side. I'm not much on thing, but I don't know how long I'm supposed to stay up here. But I'm glad I had the opportunity to preach just a little bit. We must have Jesus in our life. What did He tell us? He said, "I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life." And you can't get nothing in a lie. Every time you tell a lie, you run across something, you've got to tell another to cover that one. But the truth will stand through eternity. It'll hold on until we leave here. Yeah, these glasses really mess up things. Jesus said like this right here, "I have been so long time with you, yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that has seen me has seen the Father. And how sayest thou, show us the Father?" I've got the Father in me. They took their abode in here. And I'm living for them. Perfect? No, I'm not. Neither are you. You're going to make your mishaps. You're going to make your mistakes. I've seen people quit because they made a little mishap. Don't take it to the preacher. He'll give you mean eyes. Take it to the Lord. He'll help you through things. We're not perfect in this life. I hope I can say something that kept you go along, because we're going to face some rough times here in a little while. The world won't, but the church will. The church, like I said, ain't the building, it's you. Stand on that. When you see things come, the greatest defense that we got is prayer. If we can get down and pray and tell the Lord about everything. You talk about a crybaby right here, one. Anything I see, I run to the Father with it. Tell Him everything. We've got to tell Him everything, because we're short time here. We're leaving here. I made plans not to stay here, but to leave. Over the last year, it's been a rough time. My dad has passed and went on. The two greats, I call them my heroes, my dad and my Uncle Britt, has passed and went on. My Uncle Harold has left here. My Aunt Nora, within 8 months, we lost 4 of our family members. I've had the open heart surgery. My son is fit wars. I've done my best when he fit over in that ward. He called me one time when he's over in Kuwait. And he said, "Daddy, keep praying. Keep doing what you're doing." I said, "We are. We're doing our best." And his captain or his sergeant in the Army, I heard him in the background say, "Is that your daddy?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I want to talk to him." I got on the phone with him. The old big rough boys, and got on there and told me, he said, "You pray for my family, my platoon, these boys that's with me." And he never did do that before. Many times he'd called. And when Matthew got back on the phone, I said, "What? Matthew, what happened?" He said, "We went to Baghdad. A little teensy fella jumped out with I don't know what you call it, one of these old big bazooka things, RPG. He said, he shot at me. He said, we was coming down in the Humvee. He said, all I could see was that smoke of that thing coming at me." He said, "I know what I was going." He said, "The only thing in my life flashed before my eyes. He said, all I could see was my wife and a little girl." But he said it missed my Humvee. And it caught the great big truck that was in front of him. And he said it blew that all to pieces. He said, "This is what hurt. This is what was so amazing about this." Now listen, I don't care what problems you're in or how kind of situation you can be, God can deliver you. He's a deliverer. He said it blew it up. He said the doors flew open on that thing, what was left of it. And he said it looked like somebody had reached down and got my Army buddies out and set them off to the side. And they got out of that without a scratch. Even the sergeants and the captain realized that it took more than an armored vehicle to get it through. It took Jesus to do that right there. He said, "I've seen things over here that I never had seen before." He said, "There's a difference in this little man come in and ragged as it could be. Said he sat down in a little corner and began to preach Jesus to the lost. Said he was a loving. Said he could understand. He preached it this evening. Began to preach how Jesus loved us so much that he came from glory to walk a bloody road and lay down a perfect plan of salvation. He said they come and packed him off. Thought he was crazy. Well, I guess they take us all to jail here for loving God and what he's done. We're not a weak little bunch. Mess with me and I'll pray for you. I'll tell God about everything. I ain't got something that sits up on a shelf that you might go over now and then and take a little dip or whatever. I've got something that lives in here that keeps me and knows me. At a while, even give me a appointed time to die. But after death, the judgment. Lord, guess what's going to judge you right here at Bay? I'm going to live by it. That way I don't have to stand before him or whatever, what comes through. He'll look at me and say, this is one of mine. He's got the blood clot. That blood can blot out a lot of things. You talk about a multitude of sins hid. When I gave my life to the Lord, I was a walking miracle. To be honest with you, because God saved me. Changed my mind. I don't do the things. I drink from a different fountain. I say the different words. I talk what God would give me in my heart. If you're in here and lost, or out here and lost, and it's the beautiful day that God has given us on this side of judgment, after a while, it ain't going to be too many more of this right here. Won't be too much singing going on like this right here. You want to know why? It's wrote down right here. It's coming to the end. Boy, when I'm telling you, to the world, it's a scary thing. But to me, I lift up holy hand for my redemption draweth nigh. I can read what the signs give me out here in the world. Jesus can bring you through anything. He can save your soul, make a new creature for you, out of you. Told me, he said, when I was baptized, I remember one of them said he rose to walk in the newness of life. We should. And I have. It's been so good. I ain't in no bed of roses. But I tell you what, God will be with you all the way. He'll keep you, hold you, and make things right. I don't know how long I've preached here or whatever, but it feels good to be what God can give me. See, like when you get scared, you can't remember much, can you? That's true. When you get this right here out of the way, God can do things. We had a good singing up there at the campsite. That little fellow, I don't know if he's here or not today, it stirred me up a little bit and I couldn't keep quiet. Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. But God loves you. I already said it. I love you. I'm going to tag team with you again here some of these days. Be good. I hope that maybe someone I've said something that he helped go along the way. When Dad passed, he looked at me and said, son, you keep preaching, you keep singing, you keep on, you press towards the mark of the high call. He said, I'm not dying. I'm just leaving from home. I'm passing through one time. We all are. One time we're passing through. But over there in that place, a man actually used to work with him. He called himself an atheist. I worked with him in mine, and every time he hurt his hand or something like that, he cried, oh God. And I said, you ain't supposed to do that. I thought you was an atheist. Every time he get hurt, I get on to him. I said, don't do that. I said, you don't believe in God. We worked about 7 or 8 years together. And he finally got to come talk to him. He said, yeah, there is a God. It's good. Everything you do, it's God involved. The breath you take, to God. We got up this morning, God got me up. Mike called after I got up, but then it was God that got me up before that. But we need to hold on. I worked for Harmon down here. In the mines, I was 9,000 foot straight back. I worked there a long time. And the boss would come through and say, how you come out clean-faced every day? On a roof boat. I said, you getting over with God, you feel not pretty good and begin to cry and start wiping tears and stuff like that, your face comes out clean every time. He said, said, what do you cry about? I said, it's not sorrow, I can tell you that much. It's the good part that Jesus goes with you. He asked me one time, he said, what would you do if you was to die here? Or if the Lord was to come back? I said, the mountain would move and let me through. Can't hold me down, boy. Can't hold you down. You are God's people. What so much greater love that God has bestowed upon us that we should be called the sons of God. And it makes me happy along the way. Nothing but a crybaby and go on to do everything. Can't sing, can't preach, can't do that, but I can't do nothing without the Lord. But I love to try. Love to do it. And I'd give anything if I could open up in here and show you what God can really do to an old wretched man. Save his soul, change his mind, set him up and call him something. It's so good. How wonderful that things are that we, in this day and time, can feel that touch of the Master's hand. I sat up there out of that little blue tent yesterday, what time I wasn't talking to somebody and crying, listening to beautiful singing. And I thought how wonderful that it would be when we all get over. When we get ready to go into that city, humming up a new song. How beautiful that would sound. Number that no man could number. All rolled up heading for the city to see the Lord. This is a reality. It's not a fairy tale. It's a reality. Churches are leaving. If you don't believe me, read the 21st chapter of Revelation. I'll read a little bit for you. I'm not going to a guesswork country. Listen here. He said, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth was passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and they shall be my people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. I know I'm not, there's maybe things yet to come, but I've got him in my life today. I know what I'm talking about. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. And there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. For the former things have passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. Never heard so many prayer requests about cancer in my life. When I was growing up, the old people got cancer. Now they got the little ones. Everybody's got or something like that somewhere. Nevertheless, you're going to die and somewhere you're going to live. But you can't stay here. This I know for sure. You either go to heaven or hell. You got a choice to make. When they come knocking at my door and Jesus passed by my way, there was a battle went on about 3 seats up in Kelsey Chapel. I gripped the seats and the devil telling me, you can't live it. You can't do it. That lying thing is all he is a liar and the father of it. But let me tell you, when Jesus had come, all ye that labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. He said to take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart. My burdens are light, and you will find rest for you. So I've got a hold of something other about 38 years ago that Daddy didn't give me. Didn't come from the world. I got salvation in my life. I've got something other that held me up even in my troubled time. Me and my little wife had raised 4 kids, and we've had a lot of trouble along the way. And I can look back over my life, and I can see the handprints of my Lord in every bit of it. I can see them sometimes. He even carried us along the way. But listen, after a while, we'll not be able. We've got faith here, and we'll walk with Him in a little while. We're going to be standing before the Lord. I'm going to see my pay, one who I've got it in. Bible teaches that therefore looking unto the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who is the author and the finisher of our faith, who said for the joy that was set before Him, endured the cross, despised the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. Now said, consider Him who endured such contradiction of sinners against Himself, lest you be weary and faint in your mind. I didn't come here to faint. I was scared enough to do it though, but I didn't come here to do it. I'm heading towards the mark of the high calling. I'm heading home to a land I don't know what. You ever try to imagine this in your mind? A land where there is no more sin, no more death, no more pain. There won't be no devil over there trying to tempt you with things. It's a free country, a new heaven and a new earth. I don't know what it is. The Bible teaches me that the half has not been told about where we're going. And we must strive to enter in at it, because let me tell you, down here you got troubles and trials. And believe me, your faith is going to be tried somewhere down this world. Hang on to what you got. If you make a mistake and fall, get up and do it again. Go for it. Hold on to this right there. And I'm sure, without a shadow of a doubt, you'll make heaven your home. I always tell myself, you better get used to me here. You think I got more mouth and crying going around there? Wait till I get on the other side, all dressed up in white with a new body, and singing a song to blind. I believe it here. You want to go with me? God fixed it. All you got to do is repent. Jesus said, preach that which He has given us. And what you do it in the Spirit. I can't draw you down here. The Lord's got to do it. If you hear and you consider things, and it's stirred in your heart, now's the accepted time. Jesus is a passing by. You need to fix things. I don't care. I hope to goodness, if you're here and lost and listening to me, that if you don't give your heart to the Lord, then you can get so miserable that you can't stand it. I hope a bird gets on your salad you can't sleep. I hope your stomach gets so messed up because of what your mind thinks that you can't eat. So you get things fixed. Because the hell was not made for the devil and his angels. That's what it was made for, the devil and his angels. It was not made for you. It was made for him. And he's got a short time here, and he knows it. He's going to do everything he possibly can. He ain't going to fight the world. He already got that. He's going to fight you. And we ain't fighting against flesh and blood. We're fighting against principalities in high places. We're fighting against authorities way out here, way up there. But take no fear. Like John said, let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. I believe in the Lord. I'm going to hold on to it. And I'll tell you without a shadow of a doubt, I know this in my own heart, that when God calls, I'm leaving. Amen. I'm going to leave here. Some say, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit different than I am, but I think it's going to be fire and brimstone right down here. The Bible said the former things passed away, and I believe it. I believe what it's doing. If you're here, if you're a Christian, need to move closer, it's a little closer. God will come right just as close as you will. We need to do that. Hold on to the good things of life. What is the good thing of life? Jesus Christ is a good thing of life. Matthew was over in the army. I went to everything and trying to go in as a chaplain. He said, you're too old and you can't handle the thing that you have to get the training. Go. I said, try me out and see whether or not I can handle it. Send me with me. I could not stand the thoughts of him being over out of my hand, out of hand's reach. But God took care of every bit of that. Call back and say, oh boy, listen. I'd get home and I'd get my little corner, my little closet, and I'd pray and I'd fast and I'd go on and I'd tell him, God, what's going to happen? We'll have things like that. Watch over him. And he did. I'm running home and I got two more grandkids on account of it. God knows what to do. We went down to Kentucky to sing. And went down there and said we had a benefit sing for a person, and the little fellow, the foreign marshal come out and give me the phone and said, this man wants to talk to you. He was in New York, and we was having a benefit singing for his parents. And he got over there, and he bought some off a little fella, and when he got the change, he turned around, they shot him right here, and put him in the hospital. They sent him back from Kuwait, put him in New York, where they done the surgery stuff on him. I know his voice, we listened to him, and they began to tell us, we sung the benefit to get his parents and stuff up there. But we went to Staffordville to sing. And a little man, not a man, he's pretty good sized young, got up, didn't know him. And he began to hold his hand up and say, but when he said, praise God, I know exactly who that was. That was that little man that got shot right here. And what a testimony that he had. It stood by her up and it wanted to stick with me for the rest of my life. God still answers prayer. I don't care what comes or goes. God is still there. He hears everyone. Even when you get down on your knees, you think you ain't going no further than the floor. God hears that prayer. Tell the Lord about everything. Your church If you got one you go to, support it and do everything you could possibly do. If your preachers are preaching you the truth, back it up. That's what we need to do. If he's telling you, if your singer's singing the Spirit, lift a holy hand every now and then and tell them that we need to get strong in the Lord, especially out here today, because I want God to know that I'm His and He's mine. Out here, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have it in our life. I love you. I'm about done. I'm not much of a... I want to have a big fireball preacher this morning. You know that ended up standing here talking a little bit. But I hope I've said something that will strengthen you to hold on. We're in the last days. I mean, we're way up into the 11th hour. Settle it in your heart. He told us to choose you this day whom you serve. Every morning I get up, I choose the Lord. I keep Him in my life. Got to have Him. Troubles come, tell it to the Lord. And go on and keep pressing on. I'm going to give it to Lester here just in a minute. I appreciate him letting me get up here and preach, and talk, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't give what I felt in my Christian life of this world and 10,000 more like it. You know what a Christian family does? They pray for one another. They love you. I'm talking about pure love. If you're here today and don't know the Lord, and I hope when I said something that would turn you just a little bit, stir you up a little. Now is the accepting time. Today is the day of salvation. I'm glad I got it 38 years ago. It don't get older. It's new every day. And I get up, it gets better and better and better. After a while, my hair's getting gray, but after a while, I'll be a young man. I appreciate you, church. I love you. How good that it is. You're here. Now is the time. I've quoted it just a little while ago. Jesus said, I'm the way. I'm the truth. I'm the life. You know what it does for you? Puts peace in your life. Makes you satisfied with what things are. Troubles come. God's got a way over it. He'll pass it through. The little man that dwelled among the tombs, they tied him up with fetters and chains. And he would break them and go back to the world. That's what he did. Go back to things. And then he was a miserable little man. He had about 2,000 demons in him. I'll tell you what it is. This world's so bad. That little fella had demons in him that the pigs couldn't stand it. They run and choked themselves in the sea. That's how bad it is. But Jesus, the next time the villagers saw that little fella, he was at Jesus' feet and in his right mind. 38 years ago, I got my right mind. I know what it feels like to come out among the children and to lay it down at my master's feet. He'll forgive you of everything that you've ever done. That blood covers it all. I'd love to have the words to express how this is, Ronnie. How God loved me. You know, we're a special people. Daddy preached to me one time, said, come ye out from among the world and be ye therefore a separated people, and touch not the unclean things. And he said, and I will receive you, and I shall be to you a father. Ye shall be my sons and daughters. We're a holy people. That's what we are. The church is holy. How good that it is that God could draw us out of the mire of this world and call us sons and make us holy. Ronnie, you got anything you want to say? I don't know. Nothing but a crybaby. Invitations open through this singing. Don't wait till somebody gets done singing if you've got to give your heart to the Lord. You want to shout, you better shout. You that know the Lord and how good that it is. said a while ago, you got a friend that sticks closer than a brother. You can tell him everything, he'll be there with you all the way. I'm going to read here just a little bit. Go back to your house on a Monday. A new creature in Christ Jesus. Just as I am, thou wilt receive, will welcome heart and cleanse me, because thy promise I believe, O Lamb of God, I come. You know, for every one of us that are assembled on this mountain today, there was a day when we responded to that call. We did what that old song says. We just simply came to Jesus. And you know, you can come to church. Sure. You can come to this wonderful singing. There's a lot of places you can go and a lot of things you can do. But you'll never be saved, my beloved, until you come to Jesus. Amen. This is not an invitation today to an altar. It's not an invitation to a church or to some organization. None of those things. This invitation that we extend to you today is an invitation to Jesus. We want you to come to Him. And if you're here today and you're lost, that's exactly who you need to come to. We're going to sing another verse or two as our brother. You enjoyed Brother Joe's preaching this morning. Amen. While we sing, if you're lost, why don't you come? Take our brother by the hand and go to prayer. Amen. Just as I am, thou wilt receive, will welcome heart and cleanse me, because thy promise I believe, O Lamb of God, I come. Just as I am, without one plea, but that my blood was shed for me, and that thou wilt. He's bidding you today. Will you come? O Lamb of God. Your wife and your family will look so good to you. Maybe your children around you. All things look good. It look new. How wonderful that it is. You got a sickness, you got somebody that can heal it. Need be. He can do everything. I trust Him with everything in me. How good. How wonderful. What a plan of salvation God has laid down for us that we can follow. He even took away the enmity of everything out there. It's not hard to serve God. But I appreciate the church. I'm talking to you. I want the church. We're going to go home in a little while. Maybe you be the one that say something to turn my kids around. That they may see the Lord before it's too late. I hope and pray. My heart desire, like God says, that my heart desire that all would come to repent. That's what we need to do. repent and give Him your life, you'll wonder why you waited so long. So good. But I'm going to turn it over to the listening audience. Appreciate you.
Well, stepping out on things, getting ready here. Give me a G chord.